Well, after crashing out of the other competitions, it is all attention to our flailing Premier League form now. There are 8 games to go. We're in a title race, but us and United have allowed other teams back in the mix. We've got 4 horrible games in succession as we get down to the last 8 now. We're going to show at least 6 of those on camera, but we're also 6 without a victory. So, given the fixtures we've got in this one, I think we might need a little bit of this. Let's get the time wasting on. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 97 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We finished the week with 2 big fixtures against Chelsea and Liverpool. Chelsea just starting to drop down the table now. Liverpool maybe entering a title mix. 9 points behind United, 8 behind us. I have 2 and 1 game in hand on both respectively. They've also got the next best goal difference in the league. We then face Spurs and Leaders United in the next episode before the run-in really comes to a conclusion. It could all be over by then if it ends in tears, and if we don't get a win in this one, it will be 8 without a victory. So let's see how we get on against Jordi Cruyff Chelsea. If you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. What you may be able to work out from the top of the screen and the team news is that we're having the same problems with injury. Mauricio, Kranjic, Vasquez all out. We were at one stage without 5 strikers, all due to injury. We're having one of those seasons where it's just not consistent, it's not coming together. But the fact we're still in this position, despite our failing form elsewhere, is a real sign of positivity. So let's go through and have a look at the schedule, see what's been going on. It's not been the greatest spell for us because we've obviously not won in 6. You were with me for the first 2 of those in a triple header last time, as of course after beating Porto we lost to Brighton and to Arsenal in the FA Cup. We followed it up with a 1-1 draw at home to Sheffield United, which I was gutted about at the time. We played really well, but we had to finish the game with Hugill and Worcester up front and we just couldn't look like scoring. But fortunately, Manchester United lost at home to Newcastle that day, which really pushed us up towards the top of the table again and made me think, well, maybe it's not a bad result. We then lost 2-0 at home to Barcelona. Jude Sadler was still man of the match. As you can see, Ivanov got a knock, Yokolano got a knock. It just ended up being a really poor day because where Hugill isn't registered for the European squad, we didn't even have the backup striker. Worcester had a knock for it as well. And it just ended up being a nightmare. We never looked like scoring. We did get a point on a Saturday against Newcastle. We scored a second-minute penalty. We got pegged back. Then we played the whole second half against 10 men and we just couldn't break them down. Again, the lack of goal scoring threat. We brought on Joe Hugill. We had to start Casey Worcester because without Ivanov after that knock in midweek, Joe Wills was the only one of the senior ones who was fully available. In the second leg against Barca, we just rested everyone. Joaquin Jimenez came back from injury off the bench, got a goal, which was nice. He actually played the last half an hour up front. The first hour was played up front by Alfie Harrison. And even he got injured then during the game as well. Got injured pretty early, but I just left him on. Teddy Ivanov did play as well, but otherwise it was just a mission of keep the tie respectable. A youth player, Jake Harris, got on as well. He was the only youth player fit. It's all cobbled together at the minute. We have to accept that we are not at our best. We've not got the best players available and we've not got the attacking intent. What we need to do is find that defensive form that we had earlier in the season here, where we concede in 0 or 1 each game, because that gives our strikers a chance. Let's get through to the fixtures via the development centre, because we do know that we've had our youth intake earlier this morning, in fact. I'll show you it from the messages, because it came through very recently. Maybe not as recently as I thought. It was Friday morning. But we have got one potential superstar from it, and a player who might even be useful now, because Fabio Fasoli is a 1.5-star ability striker with 4-star potential. And if you look at him by our standards, yes, the personality needs some work. He runs in behind, he's quick, he's a good finisher, he's got great dribbling ability, he's got the stamina and fitness. And to be fair to him, he's already 5'10" as well, despite not being great in the air. So he's someone I'd like us to sign in the international break. And maybe we'll get a few minutes towards the end of the year, depending on how other things go. But that's not a worry for the immediate. I think we've got a star there, but we've got to get through to the fixtures because it's Southend v Chelsea. And if you look at the table at the top right of the screen, we have put ourselves in a bit of jeopardy. We've allowed United to go top, albeit having played first this weekend. They did the job over Liverpool, who we know we've got coming up soon. But if you look at the other teams around it, Villa 5 behind us, City 6 behind, looks like they're going to win now as well. Arsenal 6 behind with a game in hand, Liverpool 8 behind with a game in hand on us. It could get very tense at the top, and it could end up being a worse finish than last year after all the brilliance and being top for most of it. So let's get through the tactical meeting and see if we can hold on. We're going to close down loads of people as recommended. This Chelsea team still got originals: Levi Colwill, Reece James, Moise Caicedo, Datro Fofana, João Neves has signed there as well, and there's a few quality regens joining it too. So this is going to be a difficult task. We're going to go and get our 11 picked. While we do so, let me quickly tell you about where we got the lads' nutritious pre-match meal from. HelloFresh are on a mission to make your meal times easier with pre-portioned ingredients, quick and easy recipe cards, and plenty of treats we can get on board with too. Get 60% off your first box plus free dessert for life by clicking a link at the top of the description. Sounds good, doesn't it? I've tried it before, I'm a big fan of the brand, and have helped with my weight loss this year too. There's healthy options available, so why not grab your discount and give HelloFresh a go from the description below. Well, here we are today, and we're battling a few things now. Of course, the physical issues up front in terms of injuries, but also defensively the unhappiness. Drew O'Day has dropped off a cliff again, both in terms of his training and his performances. I'm going to give Rikoski the chance in there. You can see De Angelis struggling as well. You can see Wills, Takatsuka all unhappy. We've agreed to let Harrison go this summer too. I've had to keep him on the bench as a striker option more than anything, because Hugh Gilt still not scored this year, Worcester still struggling. It's really difficult. There aren't game changers, and that's what we've always had. Bar maybe Berek, Kivrakidis, Takatsuka in midfield. There's nothing that really makes a difference. Other than that though, we have gone for full strength, and there is a little bit of relief today. Ivanov and Wills are now back to some sort of fitness. Jimenez is now returning and obviously came off the bench in midweek. We'll try and get him through an hour today. The defence is still first choice, but going forward is where we have the problems. And because we're not relieving that pressure often enough, we're facing more shots on goal and struggling. So this is the team I've gone for, with Jude Sadler in goal. Memic and De Angelis the fullbacks, with Herbert and Rikoski centre half. Yokolano is back to full fitness on the right. Adamson on the left. Doesn't really play well when the other lad Vasquez isn't available. We keep praising his training, but you know what? I'm actually going to warn him and criticise his recent form. Hopefully it'll produce something today as a result, because we need a result, trust me. We've got Bernberg and Jimenez the midfield too. Bernberg keeps running out of steam despite suggesting he's fully fit. No suggestion that he's becoming fatigued. It says low levels, but he keeps getting knackered after an hour. And then Ivanov and Wills, the two up front. Hopefully we're going to see some magic today. Ivanov not even in double figures for the season. Will's only just there. I really need the lads to produce. Let's go and get into it at home to Chelsea, a side that are struggling recently. And just hope we can get the response, because if we do, we're back in charge of the title race. With Jordi Cruyff's side, as we mentioned, had 4 of the originals out. They've also got Kendry Pies as well, so there are a few experienced names. On the bench, it looks like it's pretty much all youngsters. And also, one former star from us. Giovanni Reina, the other experienced player, but Andres Asensio, sold to Chelsea this summer for £40 million. To be fair, we've missed his versatility at times this year. Having an extra right midfielder, having an extra centre mid would not have hurt us at certain times. 4 changes made though. I want to see a better display. Let's get through the tunnel interview. Let's get into the first half. Hopefully Steve Tilson Park will be bouncing, because today we need the 12th man. As we've got an early free kick with Adamson. Would not mind starting quick. Joe Wills over the keeper. And just over the bar. 90 seconds gone. It's all of those chances for those two up front that were just going in before. And now they're becoming those frustrating moments where we just can't quite make it happen. Well, half an hour gone, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm getting pretty bored of seeing first halves with next to no highlights and no shots. It's been frustrating. We return this time though, even worse for a Chelsea one. They nearly scored from a free kick. Reece James has picked up a knock. There's a little bit of realism for you. It's into the front post. Rikoski away. Only as far as João Neves. James again. Might be injured. It's not stopping him. Though Joe Wills nicks it. Can we break? We don't get to see. It's been a good display according to the stats, but we've got nothing to show for it again. Joe Wills the best player on the pitch, but it seems that's more for his defensive efforts. Well, 3 minutes added on in the first half, and again, we've just not got that cutting edge. What I do need to return to, though, as I mentioned before, is can we become that 1-0 team? We had a few of those double, triple headers earlier in the year against sides like Chelsea, but we just found a way to nick 1-0 wins. And I wonder if we can do it again, as Adamson into the back post, set piece, probably the most obvious threat. Will's got there instead of Herbert. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, because Lewis Herbert is normally the man. As Jack Hope plays out from the back for Chelsea, Reece James is there. Neves down the right-hand side to Framura. That throw for Fofana, poached by Bernberg, who's had a better game today. De Angelis finds Rakowski. Into Jimenez, wide to Ukulano. Please give us that moment of magic. Here goes Ukulano. Wants to take on the fullback and does. Gets to the byline, chance to cross. Wills is in there, the keeper punches well, but Bernberg gets it back for Adamson. Out on the left is De Angelis, another chance to cross. Adamson to the byline, into Joe Wills. Oh, how have you missed that? The keeper came and spread himself well, but surely you've got to put that away as a top quality striker. I'm so hesitant to give him that new deal because I kind of feel we need to sell him the way he's playing. Ivanov on the left-hand side. The question is, who do you replace him with? Herbert chips it to the right to Adamson. It looked like it was going past him. Got a touch on it. Straight out for a goal kick. A very strong start to the second half. But it comes with the same caveat. No goal. And now another bloody injury. This is getting ridiculous. If we start getting defensive ones as well, we're in real trouble. Branda's going to come on. He's looking nervous, so I'm going to give him a bit of encouragement. I trust you to make the difference. He's happy with that. He's not the same quality player as Memic, though. And it takes away one of the possible attacking subs, doesn't it? As Framura got a free kick over the bar. I was looking at taking De Angelis off as well, which I now can't do. Become a bit of a problem in several areas that. We need to protect other injuries as well. Picking up a lot of yellows today, which we don't normally. I'm going to go Takatsuka for Ukulano. Jimenez will have to come off. I'm going to go for Berek over Kivrakidis this time. And while I am tempted to take Teddy Ivanov off, I'm not going to. I'm going to give it 10 more. I can't bring on a striker who's not scored all season. As Branda picks the ball up for Ivanov on the right-hand side. Can we find a way to nick an ugly 1-0? It's back to Branda, the first sub. He's working down the right, puts in a beautiful cross. Joe Wills is up and he's headed wide. How many chances do you need, Joe? Seriously, how many? We're going to give a bit of encouragement. It's been a brilliant performance. The best we've played in a long time, I've got to be honest. I'm really looking forward to the 2-week break as well. But with 15 to go, I'm left scratching my head because, again, we're not taking the chances. There's 10 remaining. I'll throw on the last couple of subs after this highlight. Takazuka switches it towards Adamson. Asensio wins it, but Berek gets it back. Wills into Ivanov, please. Oh, he's hit the bar. Oh, these are the chances that were going in time and time again. Now they're nowhere near. Right, I'm going to take Adamson off for Berek, I think. The only option I've got. Berek to the left because he's knackered. Bernberg back in the playmaker role. And Kivrakidis as the box-to-box, I think. Might even be better the other way round. Who's better on the ball? Who's better going forward? No, Bernberg's better on the ball. We'll get him back that way. I mean, the other one I want to take off is De Angelis, but it would mean really reshuffling this defence. I guess the only other question is, do I take off Ivanov? Let's do it. Look, we've never doubted Joe Hugill. He's down to 1.5 star now. He's not scored all season. If ever there's a man who can produce a bit of magic when we need it, we're going to go attacking and we're going to trust in the two Joes up front. Is it going to be another one of those frustrating days? The expected goals is over 2, but we just cannot get strikers fit and firing. And I ultimately think it's going to cost us the league. Of course, Chelsea will take it, a 0-0 draw. But that's the difference, first half of the season to now. We haven't got the goal scorer. Joe Wills 7.5, I've no idea how. He missed 3 or 4 unbelievable opportunities. And again, it's the woes in front of goal that have cost us a victory. We are back, I think. No, we're not. We're behind on goal difference. We're not top of the league. City only 4 behind now. Arsenal could be 1 behind if they win their games in hand. Let's get through the international break. There's another big game to come. I just don't know how we score goals at the minute. It's a real cause for concern. Well, I tell you what else is a cause for concern. This is absolutely ridiculous. Armin Memic is out for 6 months. Broken leg. He's out for half a year. Won't even make the start of next season. I'm starting to feel like the FM gods are against me here. They don't want me this season. We said it at the very start. Is this going to be one of those years? It's given us that little bit of hope. It's dragged it away. That is a really gutting one as well, because he's become one of the best defenders, if not the best defender at the club. Probably the one genuinely world-class one we've got. And now, thankfully, we're only in one competition, but for the next 3 games, I don't know that I trust Baranda. Liverpool away in 3 weeks' time. We'll be back in a minute to face them. Well, a week to go until the next game, but I thought I'd stop off here because this to me looks very interesting. We have now got 4 of the 5 best wonderkids in football according to Next Gen. I'm a bit surprised that there's a 16-year-old from Dundee United ranked 6th who's only literally just come through their intake last year. And there's a 19-year-old from Club Bruges sandwiched in the middle of this 5, who unfortunately we tried to sign a couple of years ago but weren't able to tempt, a Canadian international. Maybe something we can readdress again in the summer if we lose some. But just interesting that we've got 4 of the best 5. It does show that the talent is here for the future. And if it doesn't happen this year, there's always the next few. Well, some good and bad news after the international break. Of course, we've got a few players back from injury after a long-term absence, and they're starting to build their fitness. They'll be featuring today. We've also got a number of key staff and players tied down to new contracts, particularly for the future. And a few have ended their unhappiness about their current contractual state. One of those, though, Teddy Ivanov, has now gone and picked up an injury for 4 weeks. So those two, Memic and Ivanov, out basically for the season now. And to be fair, you look at the players returning, both Vasquez and Kranjic then went on international duty. And I'm not sure they're going to be in perfect condition. We'll wait and see. Let's get through the fixtures though, because the early kickoff did not affect us. But today, United are at Spurs, we're at Liverpool 2nd v 3rd. And to put into perspective how important this game is, if we lose it, Liverpool will be above us, we'll drop to 3rd. And after finishing 2nd last year, after being top for so long this year, that would be a big hammer blow. We could yet finish as low as 6th. It's not going to be easy progress here. We have got to get through these next 3 games with some points. So let's start by finishing this episode against Liverpool. They've got Szoboszlai in there. You've got to be fair, they've recovered really well from administration. Ferguson at right back is a player we targeted for years from Hibs, is doing really well. And Meza, a player we tried to sign before too. But let's see what lineup we can put out for this one, because Memic and Ivanov missing from the last game. Bernberger's come back knackered. De Angelis made his international debut, which is a positive, but him and Ishmael both had knocks during the week. And there are a few players we just had to build fitness in the 21, so this is going to be a little patch together. Right then, it's a bit of a patch together bench, and we're having to take some gambles with fitness, but I've left Bernberg out completely because he's not been playing that well anyway, and I feel like we need to look after him. He's still only 2021, isn't he? We have, though, brought back Kranjic from the start, purely because of Ivanov's injury. Would have been a sub otherwise. I've brought back Drew O'Day, who's ended his unhappiness, and hopefully he'll start to improve a little bit. His form was affected by that. And I've also brought in Baranda at right back, who, in positive news, has been the best trainer at the club the last 3 weeks. So I'm hoping he'll come in and seize his opportunity. The rest of the team is pretty much as you were. I did want to bring Vasquez back in for Adamson, but he's played on international duty. He's not quite as fresh as we would like him to be. So I'm going to give him maybe 30, 40 minutes off the bench. And there's also a few on there who are nowhere near ready. So Mauricio probably could have done with an under-21 game. Ishmael, only just back from a knock. But both of those probably going to feature off the bench. So this is the 11 in full. We've got Baranda in at right back to replace the injured Memic. We've got Berek in to replace the fatigued Bernberg in centre midfield. O'Day is in for Rakoski at centre half, who again had featured a lot away. And Kranjic in for Ivanov up front. 4 changes from the draw against Chelsea. Will Kranjic, the European golden boy, the world superstar for the future, will he be the man to deliver? He's still the top scorer. Boy, I need him today. As Marco Rose and his Liverpool side are going to be hard opposition. They've still managed to keep hold of Ben Doak despite those financial troubles before. They've got Szoboszlai as skipper, and they've got a very youthful team around them. They're almost forced into regenerating their squad because of the financial ruin a couple of years ago. It's worked out really well for them. So we head through to kick off at Anfield. We'll be hoping for a bit of magic. I just hope we can defend again and then maybe nick one. But Liverpool are one of the few teams that have given us a spanking at times this year. Let's see if we can avoid it here. As Szoboszlai straight in. Don't want to give him space there. Jude Sadler equal to it. Good save from him, but not a good start. It's all Liverpool at the minute. Ferguson with a throw-in on the right-hand side to Brook. He finds Marginson in the box, and again they're going to get a shot away. Just wide of the post. This is a very poor start. Liverpool certainly come out the traps quicker. Got to keep an eye on the other results as well. Spurs United, Brighton, Arsenal too. But if we do lose this one, we're not going to be worrying about that because there'll be two teams that have got it in their hands. And Liverpool seem to know it. They're flying from the start. 20 on the clock and they're on the front foot again. Ferguson to Brook, back to Marginson. And it's a great save from Sadler. I think we're going to need a man of the match display today, aren't we? Stunning goalkeeping. Marconi's got the corner, but we are clinging on by a thread. Costello's there, but he's headed away by Berek, and it's another one. It's a bombardment on our 6-yard box. Can we survive it? That's the question. It would be a lovely game to nick an undeserved 1-0 win, especially after what happened against Chelsea, where we should have got the victory. This one's petering out, is it? No, they're keeping possession again. And Marginson back into Cuero. Thought we'd managed to see that one off, but Liverpool back in possession, trying to start again. And they've gone all the way back to the keeper. Are we just watching the whole game now, or are they going to produce one of the moves of the season against us? Buckley goes to Marconi down the left. He skimmed Miranda. Oh, I miss Memic. I really miss him. Back to the edge to Szoboszlai. Jimenez fouls him. Oh, wonderful. I mean, they've deserved it based on the start, but what a wonderful sequence of events. It's all falling away. I think I'm going to have to learn some lessons from this season, both in terms of which players I can no longer be loyal to, which ones are going to throw their toys out the pram when times get tough, and perhaps most importantly, which ones can stay and be the heroes, because Jude Sadler has now saved the penalty. What a season he's having. I will never ever get over the fact that I left him as a sub-keeper for a year for Caljo. Might be the stupidest thing I've ever done in FM. It's not going to matter now though, because Marconi has finally scored. I mean, look at that quality. We have got no one near that level. Yes, a few of ours may become that good, but at the moment they're not there. We're going to encourage the lads. We need more. But this has been a terrible start. It's not about the result at the minute. We're still in the game. The performance has been atrocious. As we've got a free kick just outside our own box. Jude Sadler plays it out to the skipper Herbert. Feel like we just need to cling on till half time and then maybe go for it in a second. As Branda works down the right to Ucolano. This could be a route back in it. Smash and grab anyone. Into Joe Wills. Straight at the keeper. It's a poor cross. And now we're going to be doing defending again. Atabolu, the goalkeeper. Space and time to play out. And Meza will look for the fullback Ferguson, you would assume. Here he is, our long-term target. Into Szoboszlai. Finds Meza. Into midfield again. Szoboszlai, their skipper. Poached by Wills. He's got time, but again, no one to play to. Berek to Jimenez. Back to Herbert. It's all so slow, and it's a poor pass again. We haven't woken up. And I don't understand it, to be honest, because while we didn't score against Chelsea, it was our best performance in some time. This has just been diabolical, and after 3 weeks off, I thought that rest, that fatigue that we were carrying would finally start to improve. Not to be. We've got no match momentum, no shot on target, and Liverpool this time, the dominant side. But unlike us against Chelsea, they've actually taken a chance, as Sadler has got the ball in goal. Just get the half-time at 1-0. That's all I'm asking. Branda's on a booking. He's really struggling with Marconi. And we're going to get caught on the edge here, aren't we? Herbert plays on to Kranic. Down to Ucolano. Go on, give us a counter. Kranic has got a runner. He's going down the right himself, though. In towards Ucolano. Into Joe Wills. Oh, he's missed from 3 bloody yards. You're 3 yards out. All you've got to do is pass it in. Why, oh why, are strikers that have been scoring 25 goals for me year in, year out, they just cannot hit a barn door now. It's so frustrating as well looking at the other scores. Arsenal are losing, United are losing, they're drawing now. If we could draw this game, it wouldn't be a bad result. But where does the goal come from? Because we create chances like that one for Wills. And if you can't take it, and the ones we made against Chelsea, you don't deserve a result. And now we've gone 2-0 down, and that's the difference. It's cutting edge. It's ruthlessness. I'm learning a few very harsh lessons for next season now. The carrying Super Joe Hugel and people like that, it can't happen anymore. It just can't happen if we want to be the best of the best. Yes, we've won a Europa League. Yes, we've won an FA Cup. But if we want the big ones, we're going to have to be ruthless. An hour on the clock. Let's look after the ones that are just coming back. So Kranic and Jimenez will get a bit of a breather. We'll bring on Kivrakidis and we'll bring on Mauricio. Good chance for him to get half an hour. He was the only one scoring before his injury as well. Adamson's just been shocking for weeks now, so Vasquez on for him. De Angelis at left back is struggling a little, so we might as well go for Ishmael. And then at right back, Branda's had a poor game as well, so I'm going to bring on Rakowski. Not his natural position, but again, just having to fill in square pegs in round holes. I mean, we have actually created a couple of glorious chances here. Will's missing the best of them. But it doesn't really matter how we play, does it, if you can't score goals? As Wills has got him one-on-one from a mistake, this is going to be the telling one. Joe Wills, oh, that's abysmal. Why has he run to his weak side? Why has he taken it so early? What a way for it to dry up. What a way for it to go. How we didn't score against Chelsea, I don't know. And here, where's the defence gone? I mean, Jude Sadler has produced the performance of a lifetime and we're 2 down. As Soberslite goes back to Meza. Chance to shoot from distance. No one closes him. Good save by Sadler again. It's a corner kick. I dread to think what the score would be if he weren't playing. Even in this game where we've played terribly, we've created chances. Against Chelsea, we created bundles. But if you cannot score a goal, you can't win a football match. And we have got to the stage where we've got 4 world-class strikers. None of them can stay fit and none of them can score goals. And that's why I'm not giving them any of a new deal that are on more than 100 grand a week. As Marconi's in, it's a great save again. I mean, just take a bow, Jude. You have been stunning today. 9.0 might be the best rating I've ever seen for a goalkeeper in this year's game. And despite that, he's going to be on the losing side so undeservedly. He saved a penalty. He saved 3 or 4 one-on-ones. It could have been an absolute maul in this. But Jude Sadler has been the star of the show. And if there's one positive, we've got a goalkeeper to build around next year. Liverpool 2, Southend 0. Southend United dropped to 3rd. And something's got to give here. We did the team meeting before this game. We got all of the things right off the pitch. But we're falling away. We're still only 3 behind United. We're now behind Liverpool on goal difference. Only 1 ahead of Arsenal. And if they win this weekend, only 1 ahead of City as well. It's going to be a tense run-in. But I've got a feeling it might just be slipping away. And I don't really know how to do it. Mauricio, there's the goal drought as well. I'm trying to encourage them, but it's just not happening. And Jude Sadler, you're an absolute superstar. Well done for your performance. Let's have a look at the schedule then, because as we said, look, this is still a genuine chance to win the title. I've got to show you as much of it as possible. I think we're going to come back for the next 2 games against Spurs and United, because by the looks of it, we're going to need a result at Old Trafford now. And then, of course, we've got 2 or 3 easier games, followed by Everton on the final day of the season. So the plan is Spurs and United in the next episode on Tuesday, Fulham and Everton in the episode on Thursday. If you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this one, 8 without a victory now for Southend United. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. Can't remember the last time we had a run this bad. But the thing that's scaring me the most is we just cannot score goals. The Premier League title race is very much becoming more difficult. We're throwing away a brilliant position and we just can't score goals. If you're looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes and you want to stay up to date with it, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here on Tuesday as, of course, the running continues with our next 2 against Spurs and United. Between now and then, we've got a little experiment tomorrow and then we're back on Monday as our new alternate head coach save continues. You can find that so far up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and so much more. But for now, thank you for watching. Thank you for, I'm sure, laughing as we blow our title chance again. Of course, we're ahead of schedule. We're doing really well in the grand scheme of things. But this run has come at the most unwelcome of times. And yet again, injuries have stepped up to the plate.